what's going on, y'all? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And you're about to watch a little OTB LSU.
We're going to give you all the latest, greatest between LSU football, baseball, women's basketball, softball, and everything in between.
Bottom line, if you want to talk Tigers, keep it locked, subscribe, like it, and we hope you enjoy it. McElroy was talking about SEC teams that could create a lot of problems for opponents in 2024. A relatively unexciting setup. Where Greg revealed his top 25. He had LSU at 15, and he was like, 15's probably too low, though, right? Talking about the potential ceiling of LSU. Now, that's where I think my brain started to become a bit interested, Jake, is if you look at any preseason rankings, LSU's going to be around probably like 12 to 18, 13 to 15. Like that's firmly going to be there inside the top 20, outside the top 10. That's going to be LSU preseason. So I want to ask the question, if you look outside the top 10, does LSU have more potential in terms of ceiling and the ability to move in and maybe threat a championship? Do they have the most potential out of that grouping? And other teams that would be in this mix, Florida State, Penn State, NC State, Tennessee, Clemson, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, Arizona. That's just going off of one rankings at ESPN's. But you understand the grouping there. The thing about LSU to me is, and we've talked about this for a couple of months, right? Is that, yes, there are question marks everywhere in terms of maybe some unproven positions. But like outside of interior defensive line, I actually like a lot of the bodies, right? I think you're going to have good answers to that question. What does concern me, though, is just from a probability standpoint, if you're relatively unproven at, let's say, edge, corner, safety, running back, wide receiver, tight end, can all of those be answered positively? Or like surely some of them won't go as well as we think, or maybe they all do, and then you do rock it up and you end up, and you can throw quarterback in there as well, even though we really like what we've seen from Garrett Nussmeier in an admittedly small sample size, but if all those go well, then great. Then yes, I think you end up at the top 10, you make the playoff. I just wonder if how likely it is that all those questions are answered positively.
Maybe not all of them. Maybe not all of those questions get answered, but you're going to have some of those that certainly surprise you. I think we talked about the safety group yesterday. Like, that's a group that initial thoughts like, I mean, you might have some issues there, but as you lay out who's actually there and who you have through the portal, through returning starter, through a freshman, a young guy that you feel really good about, that's a potential group that actually could go the complete opposite way of what we're thinking.
Yeah.
And so you'll have some of that. And, concerns on the defensive front, those are still there. But I think for LSU, and I think what McElroy is trying to say is, some of those groups are going to probably play above what our expectation is. I think we got so burned last year defensively that we're like, can't play, can't do it. Like, this guy can't play, that guy can't play.
It's true.
When a lot of it, as we've heard from multiple people, not just people inside the program, outside the program as well, that there was a giant disconnect in philosophy and how it got to the players, and the players taking it from the meeting rooms, practice field to the game field. So I think some of that will improve inherently, but here locally, and we cover LSU every day, we're like, man, we've been burned too many times by that. Where somebody on the outside is probably looking at it and saying, look, LSU can't be that bad at corner. They can't be that bad at linebacker or whatever position on the defensive side it might be.
It's a very good point, right? Maybe because we watched this team so closely and saw the failures so spectacularly and intimately that our perspective could almost be a bit skewed overly negative, where others can look at it and say, no, those players are better than what they looked like last year. It was, I would say the majority of the fault lies in the coaching. We'll see. I continue to be kind of tickled at the parallels between the Saints offense and the LSU defense, as in both cases, you're kind of hoping that these coaching changes show you that, no, the team was not as bad as they looked. It was mainly due to outdated philosophy and, or like you said, a disconnect.
I mean, you feel so strongly about it, you put your nuts on the line.
Yeah. Yeah. Which, again, I think I just get off to at this point. Wow, Jake, what incredible takes.
I mean, those guys, they're just the best.
I think so. And if you think so, again, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell so you get notifications when we post every single day here on OTB LSU.